The small scout ship shook violently. Warning lights flashed red across the control panel. Officer Hannah of the Minsock species gripped the edges of her seat with sharp claws. Her large, cat-like eyes widened with fear. Engine failure imminent. Crash landing unavoidable. The ship's computer stated in a calm voice. Hannah looked down at her swollen belly. The 3 babies growing inside her kicked, sensing her fear. She had to protect them at all costs. "Computer, nearest safe planet?" she asked, her voice steady despite her fear. "Planet designation: Earth. Primitive civilization. Limited space travel. Mostly harmless." Hannah nodded. "Prepare escape pod for launch." The ship's computer beeped in response. "Warning: Earth natives unaware of alien life. Contact prohibited by galactic law." "I have no choice," Hannah whispered, stroking her belly. "My children come first." The escape pod detached from the dying ship with a violent jerk. Hannah watched through the small window as her scout vessel exploded in a brilliant flash of blue light. The pod's heat shields glowed orange as it entered Earth's atmosphere. Inside, Hannah braced for impact. The landing would be rough, but the pod was designed to absorb most of the shock. Her species was tough. They had evolved on a harsh world with twice Earth's gravity, but her pregnancy made her vulnerable. The pod crashed through tall trees and slammed into soft, muddy earth. The impact knocked Hannah unconscious. Hours later, as the sun began to rise over the Korean countryside, Daho walked through his fields with his old dog Boxel. At 62, Daho still worked his small farm alone. His weathered hands and sun-browned face showed years of hard work. "Come on, Boxel. We need to check the backfield before it rains," he said. Boxel suddenly stopped. The dog's ears perked up, and he growled softly. "What is it, boy?" Daho asked, squinting in the direction Boxel was looking. In the distance, near the edge of his property where the forest began, Daho saw broken tree branches and disturbed earth. Smoke rose from something half buried in the ground. "Stay," he commanded Boxel, but the loyal dog followed anyway. As they got closer, Daho saw it was like nothing he had ever seen before. A metal pod, about the size of his tractor, had dug a deep trench in his field. The metal glowed slightly, still hot from entering the atmosphere. "What in the world?" he whispered. Boxel barked loudly, backing away from the strange object. Daho approached carefully. He had lived through enough to know danger when he saw it, but curiosity pushed him forward. A section of the pod had cracked open. Daho peered inside, then jumped back in shock. Inside was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. It looked like a giant cat standing on 2 legs. It wore a tight uniform made of shiny material. Most surprising of all, the creature appeared to be pregnant with a large, swollen belly. The alien's eyes suddenly opened, large yellow eyes with vertical pupils like a cat's. She stared at Daho with obvious intelligence and fear. Daho stepped back, his heart pounding. The creature tried to move but winced in pain. A dark blue liquid, blood, stained her uniform along one arm. Boxel growled again, but Daho hushed him. Something about the creature's eyes seemed to call to him. He had seen that same look of pain and fear in injured animals on his farm. The alien made a soft, rumbling sound and placed one clawed hand on her swollen belly in a protective gesture. Daho understood then. Whatever this creature was, wherever she came from, she was a mother protecting her unborn babies. The alien tried to stand but collapsed back into the pod with a cry of pain. Daho made his decision. He might not understand what had fallen into his field, but he understood a creature in need. "You're hurt," he said simply, knowing she couldn't understand him. "I will help you." Outside, dark clouds gathered. A storm was coming. Rain fell hard on Daho's old truck as he drove slowly back to his farmhouse. In the back, covered by a tarp, lay the strange cat-like alien. She had passed out again, which made it easier for Daho to move her from the crash site. "This is crazy," Daho muttered to himself. Boxel sat in the passenger seat, whining softly. The dog seemed upset by the strange creature's smell. Daho parked beside his old barn, not the house. We can't let anyone see her, he told Boxel, though he knew the dog didn't understand. The government would take her away. With great effort, Daho carried the alien into the barn. She was lighter than he expected, despite her pregnant belly. Her fur was short and smooth, colored light brown with dark spots. Up close, she looked even more cat-like, with whiskers and a small pink nose. Daho made a bed of clean hay and gently laid her down. He covered her with an old blanket and placed a bowl of water nearby. The blue blood on her arm had dried. The cut didn't look too deep. What am I supposed to do with you? He wondered aloud. As if hearing his question, the alien's eyes opened. Those strange yellow eyes fixed on Daho. She tried to sit up but was too weak. Easy now, Daho said in a calm voice. You're safe here. The alien's ears twitched at his words. She looked around the barn, then back at Daho. Slowly, she raised a hand to her mouth, then to her swollen belly. She made a soft crying sound. You're hungry, Daho realized. Wait here. He hurried to his house and opened his refrigerator. What would an alien cat eat? He grabbed leftover rice, some cooked fish, and a bowl of soup from last night's dinner. When he returned to the barn, the alien was sitting up, looking stronger. Boxel stayed by the door, watching cautiously. Daho offered the food. The alien sniffed it carefully. She tried the rice first, taking the small bite. Her face twisted in disgust, and she spat it out. Next, she tried the fish. This she ate quickly, making pleased rumbling sounds in her throat. The soup she ignored completely. After finishing the fish, she looked at Daho and made the same gesture as before, hand to mouth, then to belly. Still hungry? Daho asked. He wasn't surprised. She was eating for more than one. He searched his refrigerator again and found some raw beef he had planned to cook tomorrow. When he brought it to the alien, her eyes widened. She sniffed it eagerly, then devoured it with sharp teeth. Daho watched in amazement. You like it raw. Good to know. After eating, the alien seemed much stronger. She stood up on two legs, towering over Daho. She was at least 6 feet tall, with a strong, athletic build despite her pregnancy. She placed a clawed hand on her chest. Hannah, she said clearly. Daho blinked in surprise. Hannah, is that your name? The alien tapped her chest again. Hannah. Daho pointed to himself. Daho. Daho, she repeated, her pronunciation perfect. They stood looking at each other, an old human farmer and a pregnant alien cat, both unsure what would happen next. Suddenly, Hannah's ears perked up. She turned toward the barn door, her body tense. Daho heard it too, a car driving up to his house. Someone's coming, he whispered. Hide. Hannah understood his urgency, if not his words. She moved deeper into the barn, hiding behind stacked hay bales. Daho rushed outside, closing the barn door behind him. Through the rain, he saw a police car parked in front of his house. A young officer was getting out. Mr. Kim, the officer called. I'm Officer Kang. We've had reports of strange lights in the sky last night. Did you see anything unusual? Daho's mouth went dry. He glanced back at the barn where an alien from another world was hiding. Nothing unusual here, he lied. Just an ordinary night on the farm. After the police officer left, Daho returned to the barn. Hannah was still hiding behind the hay bales, her ears flat against her head. It's safe now, Daho said, motioning with his hands. He's gone. Hannah stepped out slowly. She looked tired again. Her large belly seemed heavier than before. Daho pointed to her arm where the blue blood had dried. Let me help with that cut. Hannah watched as Daho brought out a first aid kit. When he reached for her arm, she pulled back, showing her sharp teeth. I won't hurt you, Daho said softly. He showed her the antiseptic and bandages. This will help. Hannah sniffed the medicine bottle, then slowly extended her arm. Daho cleaned the cut and wrapped it with a bandage. Hannah purred softly when he finished. As night fell, Daho brought more food. This time, he brought only raw meat. Hannah ate quickly, making satisfied sounds. After eating, Hannah seemed restless. She kept touching her belly and looking around the barn. She drew something in the dirt floor with her claw. Daho bent down to look. It was a simple drawing of 3 small shapes inside a larger one. 3 babies, Daho asked, pointing to the drawing. Hannah nodded. She held up 3 clawed fingers, then placed them on her belly. 3 babies, Daho repeated. You need more food. Daho thought of his wife, Sunja, who had died 15 years ago. She had been pregnant when the car crash took her life. Their unborn son died too. The memory still hurt. He looked at Hannah, alone and stranded on a strange planet. He couldn't let her babies die. Wait here, he told her, making a staying motion with his hand. Daho drove to the nearest town and bought all the meat he could afford from the market. The store owner, Mr. Park, gave him a strange look. That's a lot of meat, Daho. Are you having a party? No, Daho said quickly, just stocking up. When he returned to the barn, Hannah was sleeping. She woke up when she smelled the fresh meat. This time, Daho brought a notebook and pencil. As Hannah ate, Daho drew simple pictures. He drew a cow, then pointed to the beef. He drew a pig, then pointed to the pork. Hannah seemed to understand. She took the pencil in her clawed hand. Her drawing was much better than his. She drew a creature that looked like a large deer with 6 legs. Is that from your world? Daho asked. Hannah nodded. She made eating motions and smiled, showing her sharp teeth. Next, Daho drew the earth, then a spaceship, then a question mark. He wanted to know why she came here. Hannah's face grew sad. She drew her spaceship, then added jagged lines around it. She drew herself in a small pod, coming to Earth. Your ship broke, Daho said, understanding. You crashed here by accident. Hannah nodded. She drew more spaceships above Earth, then pointed up. Others are coming. Daho asked, feeling worried. Hannah nodded again. She drew herself being taken away in one of the ships. They're coming to take you home, Daho said. Hannah touched her belly, then the ground. She drew the 3 babies again, this time outside her body. She pointed to the barn floor. You think you'll have your babies before they come? Daho asked. Hannah nodded. She made a rocking motion with her arms, like holding a baby. Then she pointed to Daho, then to her babies in the drawing. You want me to help with your babies? Daho asked, surprised. Hannah reached out and touched his hand gently. Her yellow eyes looked directly into his. There was trust there, and a question. Daho thought of the babies he never got to hold, the family he never had. He nodded slowly. I will help you, Hannah, he said. I promise. Outside, the stars twinkled in the night sky. Somewhere up there, more aliens were coming to Earth. But for tonight, in an old barn on a small Korean farm, a human and an alien had found a way to understand each other. High above Earth, a large ship entered orbit. Inside, Commander Ta stood at the control center. His uniform showed his high rank among the Minsak. Like Hannah, he had cat-like features, but his fur was darker and he had battle scars across his face. Any sign of Officer Hannah's ship? He asked his crew. A younger officer named Q looked up from his screen. We detected debris in orbit. Her ship was destroyed, Commander. And the escape pod? Tai asked. We tracked it to this area, Q said, showing a map on the large screen. A rural region on the Asian continent. Tai's tail swished with concern. Deploy search drones. Find her quickly and quietly. Remember, humans must not know about us yet. What about the humans in the area? Asked Q. Avoid them if possible, Ta said. But Officer Hannah is our priority. She carries the future of 3 Minsock lives. Small drones left the ship, flying down to Earth under cover of night. On his farm, Daho woke early as usual. A week had passed since Hannah crashed into his field. Each day, she grew stronger, but also hungrier. Her belly was getting bigger too. The babies would come soon. Daho checked his money. He had spent almost all of it on meat for Hannah. He would need to get more food somehow. As Daho fed his chickens, Boxel started barking at the sky. Daho looked up and saw something small and shiny flying above his farm. It wasn't a bird or a plane. It moved strangely, stopping and starting, as if looking for something. Not good, Daho muttered. He hurried to the barn. Hannah was awake, looking worried. She pointed upward and made a humming sound like the object Daho had seen. Yes, I saw it, Daho said. Is it from your people? Hannah nodded. She drew a picture of the drone, then several cap-like faces. She pointed to herself, then made a cutting motion across her throat. They will hurt you, Daho asked, surprised. Hannah shook her head. She pointed to her uniform and drew a simple star shape on it. Then she drew other Minsock with different marks on their uniforms. She made her hands like claws fighting each other. Different groups, Daho understood. You're not all the same. Some are enemies. Hannah nodded eagerly. She drew the 3 babies in her belly again, then made the cutting motion. She drew tears coming from her eyes. They want to hurt your babies, Daho asked, feeling angry at the thought. Hannah nodded sadly. She touched her uniform's star mark, then drew a second star next to it. She pointed to the babies, then to the double star. The baby's father has 2 stars, Daho guessed. He's important. Hannah nodded. She held her hand high above her head, showing great importance. And that's why they want to hurt your babies. Politics. Daho spat the word. Suddenly, Boxel started barking loudly outside. Daho peeked through a crack in the barn door. His heart sank. 2 police cars were pulling up to his house. Officer Kang was back, with more officers. At the same time, Hannah looked up sharply. Her ears twitched. She pointed to the roof of the barn, then held up 3 fingers. 3 drones above us. Daho whispered. Hannah nodded. She looked scared. We need to hide you better, Daho said. Come with me. Behind his barn was an old storm cellar dug into the ground. Daho had built it years ago for typhoon season. He quickly led Hannah there. Stay quiet, he told her, helping her down the steps. I'll come back when it's safe. As he closed the cellar door, Daho heard Officer Kang calling his name. Mr. Kim, we need to talk to you about the missing animals. Daho brushed hay from his clothes and walked toward the officers. Above his farm, 3 alien drones circled, searching for the pregnant feline who had become his friend. Daho stood in front of his house, talking to the police officers. He tried to look calm, but his heart was racing. 3 cows and 5 chickens have gone missing from farms in this area, Officer Kang said. Have you seen anything strange, Mr. Kim? Daho shook his head. No, nothing strange. Another officer, older with a stern face, looked at Daho closely. Your neighbors say you've bought a lot of meat lately. More than one man needs. I like to stock up, Daho said. He pointed to the sky, where dark clouds were gathering. Big storm coming. May not be able to get to town for a while. Officer Kang nodded, but the stern officer didn't look convinced. They asked a few more questions, then left. Daho watched until their cars disappeared down the road. Above, the alien drones were still circling. One flew low over the storm cellar. Daho hurried there, worried they might detect Hannah. When he opened the cellar door, he found Hannah lying on the floor, breathing hard. Her face showed pain. Hannah, what's wrong? Daho asked, rushing to her side. Hannah pointed to her belly and made a pushing motion. Her yellow eyes were wide with fear and pain. The babies are coming, Daho realized. Now. Oh no, not now. Outside, thunder rumbled. The storm was getting closer. Rain began to fall, light at first, but quickly getting harder. Daho helped Hana back to the barn. The drones would have trouble seeing through the storm, and the barn was more comfortable than the cellar. He made a clean bed of hay and blankets. Hana lay down, breathing fast. She grabbed Daho's hand with her clawed one and squeezed hard. "It's okay," Daho said, though he wasn't sure what to do. "I'm here." Hana's labor went on for hours as the storm raged outside. Rain hammered on the barn roof. Lightning flashed, and thunder shook the old building. Daho had helped birth calves and foals before, but this was different. Still, he knew the basics. He brought clean water and more blankets. He spoke softly to Hana, encouraging her. Finally, as the storm reached its peak, the first baby came. It was tiny, with soft fur and closed eyes, like a newborn kitten, but with more human-like features. Daho cleaned it carefully and wrapped it in a small blanket. "A girl," he told Hana, placing the baby against her chest. Hana purred weakly, licking the baby's head, but soon she was pushing again. The second baby came faster. Another girl. The third baby took longer. Hana seemed tired, her strength fading. The sky outside was growing darker, not just from the storm, but because night was falling. "You can do it, Hana," Daho encouraged her. One more push. With a final effort, Hana delivered the third baby, a boy, smaller than his sisters but with strong lungs. His cry was strange, half mew, half human-like. As Daho cleaned the last baby, something odd happened. When he touched the tiny boy, a warm feeling spread through his mind. Images flashed before his eyes, strange planets, stars, and creatures he had never seen. Hana watched him with wide eyes. She touched her head, then pointed to Daho and the babies. "A connection?" Daho asked, surprised. "I can feel something." Hana nodded weakly. She arranged her 3 babies close to her body. Then she took Daho's hand and placed it on each baby's head, saying a word for each one. "Miri," she said for the first girl. "June," for the second. "Sung," for the boy. "Miri, June, and Sung," Daho repeated. When he said their names, the warm feeling in his mind grew stronger. Hana smiled, then closed her eyes, exhausted. Her breathing became slow and steady. Daho sat beside the strange family, watching over them as they slept. Outside, the storm began to pass, and stars peeked through breaks in the clouds. On one of those stars, Daho thought, these babies would have been in danger. But here, on his small farm on Earth, he would keep them safe. 3 days passed since the birth of the kittens. Hana was regaining her strength, but she needed more food than ever to feed her babies. Daho had no money left, and his own food supplies were running low. At night, he went hunting in the woods with his old rifle. He caught rabbits and birds for Hana. It wasn't enough. The 3 babies were always hungry, making small crying sounds that broke Daho's heart. Oddly, he could feel their hunger. The mental connection that started during the birth had grown stronger. When Miri was cold, Daho knew it. When June was scared by a loud noise, he felt her fear. When little Sung had stomach pain, Daho felt it too. One morning, Daho found Hana working on something from her escape pod. She had retrieved it from a crash site during the night. "What is that?" Daho asked, pointing to the small device. Hana smiled. She placed the device on her throat and pressed a button. A small light blinked green. "It is a translator," she said in a strange mechanical voice. "Now I can speak with you properly." Daho's eyes widened. "You can talk. This makes everything easier." "Yes," Hana said. "Thank you for helping me and my children, Daho. You are a good person." "Your babies are beautiful," Daho said. "But they need more food. I don't have much left." Hana nodded. "My kind needs meat, especially nursing mothers. I'm sorry this is hard for you. I'll find a way, Daho promised. But those flying machines, the drones, they are still searching. They belong to Commander Tai, Hannah explained. He is not my enemy, but he serves the High Council. They want my babies because their father is from a rebel group. Politics, Daho spat. Same everywhere, even among stars. Before Hannah could answer, they heard a car approaching. Daho peeked out and saw a police car. But this time, it wasn't Officer Kang. A young female officer was getting out. Hide, Daho told Hannah. Take the babies to the cellar. Hannah quickly gathered her sleeping kittens and slipped out the back of the barn. Daho went to meet the officer. Her name tag read Jiwoo. Mr. Kim, she said, bowing slightly. I'm Officer Jiwoo. I'm investigating the missing animals in this area. Officer Kang already asked me questions, Daho said. Yes, but we found something strange at your neighbor's farm, Jiwoo said. Tracks that don't match any known animal. Daho's mouth went dry. What kind of tracks? Like a big cat, but walking on two legs, Jiwoo said, watching Daho's face closely. Very unusual. Daho tried to look surprised. That is strange. May I look around your property? Jiwoo asked. Of course, Daho said, trying to sound calm. Would you like some tea first? It's cold today. Jiwoo followed him to the house. As Daho made tea, he noticed her looking at his empty refrigerator. You don't have much food, she commented. I haven't been to town lately, Daho said. Jiwoo sipped her tea. Mr. Kim, the store owner says you bought a lot of meat recently. Where is it? Daho didn't know what to say. Jiwoo put down her cup and leaned forward. Mr. Kim, I think you know something about the strange tracks and missing animals. Just then, a baby's cry came from outside. Not a human baby's cry, but not quite an animal sound either. Jiwoo's head snapped toward the sound. What was that? Daho stood up. Nothing. Just the wind. But Jiwoo was already moving toward the door. The cry came again, louder this time. It was sung. Through their mental link, Daho could feel the baby's hunger and distress. Jiwoo walked outside, her hand on her gun. She headed straight for the storm cellar. Please, Daho called, following her. There's nothing there. Jiwoo ignored him. She pulled open the cellar door and aimed her flashlight inside. Then she gasped. In the beam of light, Hannah stood protectively over her 3 babies, her yellow eyes reflecting the light, her sharp teeth bared in warning. Time seemed to freeze as Officer Jiwoo stared at Hannah and the 3 alien babies. Her hand trembled on her gun. Daho stepped between them, arms spread wide. Please don't hurt them, Daho said. They mean no harm. To his surprise, Jiwoo slowly lowered her gun. Her face showed shock, but not fear. I knew it, she whispered. I knew they were real. Daho blinked in confusion. You're not afraid. Jiwoo shook her head. My grandmother told me stories. She saw one of them 60 years ago, in these same woods. No one believed her. Hannah stepped forward cautiously. You have seen the Minsock before. Jiwoo's eyes widened at hearing Hannah speak. It can talk. Daho corrected. Her name is Hannah. And these are her babies, Mary, June, and Sung. Jiwoo stared at the alien family with wonder. My grandmother said the one she saw was hurt. She fed it and helped it leave. She said it had yellow eyes, just like this. Slowly, everyone relaxed. Jiwoo put away her gun completely. They went inside the barn where it was warmer. The 3 kittens mewed softly, still hungry. That's why you needed so much meat, Jiwoo said, understanding now. You've been feeding them. Daho nodded. I have no money left. I've been hunting, but it's not enough. Jiwoo thought for a moment. I can help. My brother works at a meat processing plant. He can get extra meat that would be thrown away. Hannah looked at Jiwoo. Why would you help us? My grandmother was never the same after she saw your kind, Jiwoo explained. People called her crazy. I always believed her stories. Now I know she was telling the truth. Just then, Sung began crying loudly. Daeho felt a sharp pain in his stomach through their mental link. He's very hungry, Daeho said, picking up the smallest kitten. Sung immediately calmed in his arms. Jiwoo watched in amazement. The baby trusts you completely. We have a connection, Daeho explained. I can feel what they feel. Hana nodded. It is rare, even among our people. The bond usually forms only between Minseok parents and children. What will you do now? Jiwoo asked. You can't stay in this barn forever. Others of my kind are looking for me, Hana said. Some want to help, others want to take my babies away. Those flying machines, Jiwoo said. I've seen them. The department thinks they're drones from a foreign country. They are search drones, Hana confirmed. Commander Tai is looking for me. Is he a friend or enemy? Daeho asked. Friend, but he follows orders, Hana said sadly. The High Council wants my babies because their father is a rebel leader. We need to hide you better, Jiwoo decided. My grandmother's old house is deep in the woods. No one goes there anymore. What about your job? Daeho asked. Won't you get in trouble for helping? Jiwoo smiled. I'll tell them I found tracks leading into the mountains. They'll search there instead. Hana looked at her babies, then at the two humans. Why are you both helping me? Your people don't even know mine exist. Daeho thought of his wife and the child they lost. Every mother deserves to keep her children safe. Jiwoo nodded. And some things are more important than rules. That night, they loaded Hana and her babies into Jiwoo's car. Blankets covered the windows so no one could see inside. Daeho followed on his old tractor, carrying food and supplies. As they drove through the dark countryside, Daeho watched the stars. Somewhere up there, Commander Tai was still searching. But now, Hana and her babies had two humans protecting them. For the first time in days, Daeho felt hope. Sometimes family comes in strange forms, he thought. Even from different worlds. Jiwoo's grandmother's house was small but cozy, hidden among tall trees deep in the forest. For 3 days, Hana and her babies lived there safely. Jiwoo brought meat from her brother's factory. The kittens grew stronger each day. Daeho spent hours playing with the babies. Their mental connection helped him understand their needs without words. Miri loved to climb on his shoulders. Jun enjoyed listening to Daeho sing old Korean songs. Little Sung just wanted to be held close. On the 4th morning, Daeho woke suddenly. Something felt wrong. Through his mental link with the kittens, he felt fear. He rushed outside and saw it, a large ship hovering silently above the trees. It was much bigger than the drones they had seen before. The ship was dark gray with strange lights along its sides. Daeho ran back inside. They found us. Hana was already awake, holding her babies close. It's Commander Tai's ship. They must have tracked my translator when I fixed it. What will they do? Jiwoo asked, looking worried. They will take my babies, Hana said. The High Council will raise them to hate their father's people. We won't let them, Daeho said firmly. Jiwoo went to her police car and took out her gun. Can this hurt them? Not much, Hana said. Their uniforms protect against small weapons. Daeho thought quickly. Hana, can you use parts from your escape pod to make something that could stop them? Hana nodded. Yes, the power cell could make a shock device. But I need time. We'll give you time, Jiwoo said. Daeho, help me set traps around the house. They worked fast. Jiwoo dug holes and covered them with branches. Daeho made trip wires from fishing line. They blocked the main path with fallen trees. Inside, Hana worked on the device using parts from her translator and escape pod. The babies sensed the danger and stayed quiet, hiding under a blanket. An hour later, 5 Minseok soldiers emerged from the woods. They wore dark uniforms with symbols on the chest. Each carried a weapon that looked like a short staff. Behind them walked Commander Ta. He was taller than the others, with black fur streaked with gray. His yellow eyes scanned the area carefully. "Surround the house," he ordered. "Remember, we need the kittens alive and unharmed." One soldier stepped forward and hit a tripwire. A large net fell from a tree, trapping him. Another soldier fell into a hidden hole. Commander Ta growled with anger. "Humans are helping her. Be careful." Inside the house, Hannah finished the device. It was a small box with blinking lights. "It will disable their weapons and communications," she explained, "but only for a few minutes. We must be ready to run." "Where will we go?" Jiwoo asked. "My truck is hidden behind the house," Daho said, "but we need to distract them first." Jiwoo nodded. "I'll do it." Before anyone could stop her, she ran outside, firing her gun into the air. "Police," she shouted. "Drop your weapons." The Minsak soldiers turned toward her. Commander Tai raised his staff weapon. "Do not interfere, human," he called. "This is not your concern." "Those babies were born on Earth," Jiwoo said. "That makes them my concern." While Jiwoo distracted them, Daho helped Hana and the babies slip out the back door. But one soldier spotted them and alerted Commander Ta. "There they are," the soldier shouted. Commander Ta and two soldiers ran toward them. Hana activated her device. A pulse of blue energy spread outward. The soldiers' weapons went dark. They stopped, confused. Daho stood in front of Hana and the babies. He was just an old farmer with no weapons or special powers. But as Commander Tai approached, Daho did not move. "You will not take these children," Daho said, his voice steady and strong. "Not while I'm alive." Commander Tai towered over Daho. His yellow eyes narrowed as he studied the old farmer. "Step aside, human," Commander Ta said. "This is not your fight." "You're wrong," Daho replied. "These babies were born in my barn. I helped them come into this world. I felt their first thoughts." Commander Ta looked surprised. "You have a mental bond with the kittens." "Yes," Daho said. "I feel what they feel. And right now, they are afraid of you." Behind Daho, little Sung began to cry. Without looking back, Daho spoke softly. "It's okay, Sung. I won't let anyone hurt you." The tiny kitten stopped crying immediately. Commander Ta watched this with growing interest. "The bond is real," he said, almost to himself. "This is unexpected." Jiwoo joined Daho, standing beside him. "We won't let you take them. On our world, separating babies from their mother is wrong." Hana stepped forward with Miri and Joan in her arms. "Commander, please. My children need me." Commander Ta seemed troubled. "I have orders from the High Council. The offspring of a rebel leader cannot remain free." "They're just babies," Daho said. "They're innocent." One of the kittens, Miri, suddenly squirmed out of Hana's arms. She crawled quickly to Daho, climbing up his leg and into his arms. Through their bond, Daho felt her complete trust in him. Then something amazing happened. Miri reached out toward Commander Ta. She wasn't afraid. She was curious. Her tiny paws stretched toward the commander's face. Slowly, carefully, Commander Ta leaned down. Miri touched his nose with her small paw. The tough commander's expression softened. "She trusts the human completely," he said quietly, "and she shows no fear of me, her supposed enemy." Hana spoke up. "My children were born here, Commander. They know nothing of our world's politics. They know only love and care from these humans who helped us when we were hungry and afraid." Commander Tai straightened up and looked at his soldiers. For a long moment, he was silent. Then he made a decision. "Lower your weapons," he ordered. "The High Council does not need to know everything that happens on primitive planets." The soldiers looked confused but obeyed. Commander Todd turned back to Hana. "Officer Hana, you and your children may return with us. I will report that your babies died during birth. The High Council will lose interest. Hannah's eyes filled with tears of relief. Thank you, Commander. But when Hannah tried to take Miri from Daho's arms, the kitten clung to him, refusing to let go. Through their bond, Daho felt her distress. She doesn't want to leave, Daho said, his voice breaking. June and Sung also began to cry, reaching for Daho and Jiwoo. The bond they had formed was too strong to break so easily. Commander Todd watched this with growing understanding. The human world has changed them already, and perhaps, he looked at Daho and Jiwoo, perhaps we have misjudged humans. After a long discussion, they reached a compromise. Hannah and her kittens would return to their world, but Daho and Jiwoo would come too, at least for one cycle of Earth's moon. The babies needed time to adjust, and the bond they shared with the humans could not be severed suddenly. As they prepared to board the ship, Daho looked back at his old truck and the forest around them. He had never imagined leaving Earth, but now he couldn't imagine leaving the kittens. Will I ever come back? He asked Jiwoo. She smiled. Does it matter? Family is where the heart is. Daho nodded. He thought of his farm, empty now except for Boxel, who would be cared for by Jiwoo's brother. He thought of his long, lonely years after his wife died. Then he looked at Miri sleeping peacefully in his arms. Sometimes, he thought, the greatest adventures begin with a simple act of kindness, like feeding a hungry, pregnant alien when she cried for food. The end.